What if instead of viewing your trade as right or wrong, you thought in probabilities or possibilities? My trade could work because of these reasons. My trade may not work because of these reasons. Isn't this a healthier way to think about your trades? Might you see your trades more objectively and less stressfully if you embrace the truth that you were just making a bet that could win or lose, subject to factors for and against a trade? Let's walk through a trade from our training room here in New York City with our developing traders at our firm and see how this could work for you to improve your trading. Hi, I'm Mike Bellafiore, co-founder of SME Capital, and we're a proprietary trading firm located in New York City. I'm also the author of the trading classic, One Good Trade, and the Playbook. Click our subscribe button so you don't miss any of the videos that we're producing for you in the trading community. Well, in this video, you're going to learn how a pro trader thinks through a trade. You're also going to learn factors a pro trader considers when determining whether a trade's good or not. What was in our favor in a recent trade that we discussed with our developing traders? What was not in our favor that we discussed together as a group in a recent trade? The importance of the technical indicator VWAP for short-term trading, but how other factors might be more important. For those who want to improve their trading so you can grow your trading account, we hope this video helps. If you want to learn 3 real-world setups that our traders use, including the simple strategy that we teach all of our new traders and the setup that turned one of our traders into a 7-figure big money earner, check out the free webinar that we're currently running. Just go ahead and click the link that should be appearing right now at the top right-hand corner of your screen. That's going to open up the free registration page in a new window. Don't worry, you're not going to lose this video. You're going to learn more in a couple of hours from this trading workshop than from years of online education. So I just want to go through how to think through this trade. This was definitely one of the things we covered on the open, and lots of times we talk about VWAP, is that being sort of a line in the sand for determining if something's strong or weak, but it's not always the case, and you have to be more comprehensive in your thought process at times if you really love an idea. I thought we covered this pretty well in the open, so you may have really liked the idea and the potential upside. You may have really liked the idea and the potential upside. And so if that is the case, where you really kind of like the idea, you think it has some pretty good upside because of the news catalyst, then you may not say to yourself, the only way I'm going to buy this is if it's above VWAP. You may want to piece together some of the other variables that will help you make a decision. And so that's what we really had to do in this BBBY. And so let's just go through that, this decision I ended up making, and I want to just make sure that we're all on the same page here, okay? So, as we're looking at our screens, it definitely is holding, it's definitely holding, comes in here, gets below VWAP, right? And then goes up towards the high, which is very positive. And I was actually saying to myself when we got up towards the high, man, I really hope it pulls back into VWAP and gives me a chance to really buy a lot, which it did. And then it spends some significant period of time below VWAP, once here from 9.50 to 10, and then again here from 10.15 to 10.20, and then again from 10.30 to 10.45. Okay, so 3 different times it's holding below VWAP. Normally, we will say to ourselves when we study our best trades, if it's going to be so strong, it's not really going to get below VWAP. Okay, but in this case, we got to think about this more comprehensively. The first thing is the gap up, right? This thing gapped up a lot. When something gaps up a lot, then it is possible that it can spend a little bit more time below VWAP before it really gets going, okay? When something has a strong opening drive, it is possible that on the retracement, it can spend a little bit of time below VWAP. When something has a news catalyst that isn't going to be read so obviously positively, it can spend a little bit of time below VWAP. And I think that was the case with our news catalyst in BBBY today, right? Which is, are they going to get the board members that they want? All right, this stock has gone up a little bit. Bring up our daily chart. So it's up from 10. Has this been priced in already? Okay. Are they going to actually be able to make the changes to really get this thing propped up and going? It's not clear that while the news is certainly could be read as positive and was read as positive, it's not clear that they're going to be able to do the things that they want to do to keep this running. Okay? And so, it's also not in the greatest sector that people want to invest in. All right, so let's go back to taking a look at the intraday. The other thing and so you really want to sit there and you want to make a list of here are the reasons to be long, here are the reasons not to be long. So reasons not to be long, it's spending too much time below VWAP. All right? Here are the reasons not to be long. Makes a lower high at 950. Okay? Comes up here, doesn't get above that 18 level, comes back below VWAP again. 3 times below VWAP, lower high, not clearly holding above VWAP. At this time, by 10:30, you really would expect it to be up towards 18, not towards the high. Those are things that it's in the retail space. That's against it. Are they really going to be able to get the things done that they're thinking about? That's against it. It's got a big gap up. That's against us. Okay? But the positives of this are, you've got this 720 level, which it's still above, which is the level that you really saw the buying come in initially that caused it to go up to 18. That was the first area where there was a lot of volume done, and it's still above there. Even though it made its lower high and pulled in, it's still above that 1720 area. Okay? You're looking at the market. All right, how's the market doing overall?
Well, it's up now, but at the time it was kind of balancing.
Yep, so the market at the time was into a key resistance area that you were talking about. Bring up SPY. So you were looking at that 281.50-ish area on the SPYs, around there?
282.
So,
50-cent band.
yeah, so when you're making that decision, you want to think about, hey, are we above or below that key market level? So I was working with a trader recently who is putting together his reasons to sell, and he put together a pretty comprehensive list. One of the things that he didn't actually put in there was we are at market resistance. And so my comment to him was, you should also think about a reason to sell if we're coming into a market resistance or a sector resistance. That can be a reason overall to get out of something that you think is strong on the long side. And so, when we're below 180, 150 and we're showing a little bit of weakness, that might be a check against. When we get above there, that can be a check in your favor. Okay? Let's just bring up the daily chart again. I thought Carlton made a good point about how this is a really beaten down stock. And so this has some room potentially to get bought up again. It's off from $80, went all the way down to 10. If they do make some constructive changes, it's got all the way up towards 40 before it even really finds some of that longer term resistance. Okay, and then the other thing that was interesting, go back to the intraday on it, is that 1750 was a pretty big inflection point for the intraday chart, and you can use that as a level. So, when you're thinking through a trade like this, VWAP is an important indicator, but if you like the story, if you think it's got room to go on the daily chart, if it's still above the key hold area at 1720, if on the open it has an opening drive where volume really comes in, like this stock does, That's demonstrating that there can be buying for the entire day. When you get that surge of volume right on the open, that a lot of times denotes that, hey, we're going to have a big buy order to come in during the day. If it's above its opening range from the pre-market, bring up the pre-market. We're still. You noticed this morning. We were strong in the open, we were strong in the pre-market, and then on the open we got above our pre-market resistance areas. So we're above, and there was actually some decent volume done, so we're above that range as well. That's another positive in our favor. And so, when you're thinking through a trade, you want to sort of make that checklist. Here are the things for me, here are the things against me. Are there more things for me? Are there more things against me? And that's how you can sort of walk through a decision. I think 18 is our resistance level right now. 1720, to me, 1750, 1720, and 18 are our levels. And that's how I was thinking through that trade. Anyone else trade this?
I have a question about it though.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you think that if this is all you see right here, but it goes up, dumps, and this takes out a lot of prices. So do you think that this, if you saw this candle right here, do you think like it's a higher probability short right here? Because like I didn't trade that, but I would think that I would be shorting, since I wouldn't think it would be high probability to get back to the highs so quickly like that.
Yeah, it was answered for us. There was a lot of buying on the tape at 20 cents, a lot of buying on the tape at 25 cents. That's not what a stock looks like when it's going to dump and just go lower. Somebody really did step in and just buy it up at 20 cents, buy it up at 25 cents. They walked it up, and they bought a bunch actually even at 50 cents as well to push that back up. The other thing is, when something gaps up that much and you have the dump like that, I think that's okay. It doesn't always mean that, hey, this thing is not going to be able to go up, because it gets people off sides on the short side. There are going to be people that are stepping in saying, I just want to short this thing on the gap and the run. Let it gap, let it run up. Let me short when it stops going up. Let me push it, let me press it. And there's differing opinions. There are smart people out there saying this is up too much. There are smart people out there saying they're never going to be able to do the things they want to do. There are smart people out there saying, it's just overextended. And so those people get off sides. And it's a good question to ask. And sometimes it's a harder answer. In this case, if you go back and look at the tape,
That's like the X factor was the buying.
It really wasn't a hard decision because of the buying that stepped in. They were buying too much at 20 cents, too much at 25 cents. They just were sticking there. Whenever you just see somebody, it's like they repeat the buying. They refresh. Like, why is somebody doing that? Because they really want the stock. You still in it? You're out of it?
No, I'm out now.
Okay.
I was just trading it for the first 15 minutes.
Yep. Okay, I sold a little bit in that last move up into 18, and I'm going to hit out below. Well, we'll see what happens. But the point of this is not whether this goes up or down. It's about thinking through a trade when something is below VWAP that you may like, and the reverse of this is true as well. You may really want to short something, and it may be above VWAP, and I don't want you to always sit there and say, I can never short something above VWAP. You can if you really like the idea and you think it has a lot of potential, and there's a lot of other things on your side. You don't do it a lot, but anyway, that's how you think through it. Summary: think of a trade as playing the odds. With a good trade, the odds are in your favor. When making a trade, consider why your trade may work. Consider why your trade may not work. When new information hits the market, then use it to measure your odds, to remeasure your odds. Good trading is not about being right or wrong, but rather more likely to be right. This is how a pro trader evaluates his trades. Hey, so go ahead and click our subscribe button so you don't miss any of the videos that we're producing for you in the trading community. And please take the time to add your feedback in the comments section for what videos you'd like for us to produce next and what you found helpful from this video. From all of us at S&B, train and trade well.